All right, everybody, welcome back to the KSR YouTube channel. And yes, we're working on the Cutlass, or at least parts of the Cutlass. And I've had this frame for entirely too long now, but it is obviously a completely stock G-body frame, and it doesn't look the greatest because it's got a little surface rust on it, but there's not going to be that much of it left when it ends up finalized in my car. So we've got to take some stuff off of this thing today. Actually, almost all this stuff. Basically, I want to be left with just the bare frame. So I might do a little time lapse here. Work on this for a few minutes. It'll probably be more like an hour getting all this junk off here. Maybe longer, we'll see. But I'll do a time lapse. And then we'll drag it inside and put it under my Cutlass. Yeah, let's get started. Well, that's got her stripped down, and I need to throw away all that crap. I should probably weigh it just to see how much lighter. Maybe I'll weigh one side, control arms, spindle, brakes, because we're going to put TRZ control arms on this thing, TRZ's billet aluminum spindle, and TBM spindle mount brakes, because I have spindle mount wheels for the car, something I bought 15 years ago. Finally gonna get to use them. I know they're a little different. So who does spindle mounts on a street car? This guy, because I want to. It's my car. Yeah, I'll carry a spare with me just in case, but yeah, we'll explain all that later once we actually get to installing them. But what we've got to do before we go crazy chopping on this is I need to weld like a piece across the front there, just a temporary thing. Maybe I'll do it out in the very front. Same with the back, maybe one in the middle here, so that it doesn't move while we're cutting out the stuff we're cutting on this thing. So all of this is getting cut out because I have a Merillat Upper Torque box. The spring box is going with it. The complete outside of the frame rail, so from here out, will be gone. And really, from about here back will be gone. So there's not going to be a lot of this left. Oh, I also have Merillat lower torque boxes. And then once I get all of that installed, I might do that under the body, since the body's pretty well cut out, but there is a little bit more stuff I need to cut off of the body, like the inside of the body, really before we start going back together with this. I don't know, we'll see. But lots of plans for this thing. Let's keep at it.
Ricky's strength of one person.
One? I thought he said it was the strength of 2 people.
Strength of 2.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Strength
You
of
guys
2
wouldn't
people.
understand.
My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. Moving the frame inside.
Two full-grown toddlers.
Full-grown toddlers.
Why don't you go there?
Yeah,
and
we'll
I'll
get
be
both
here.
these, and then, well, when the old guy gets
Ready?
Want some?
Ooh, wait a sec. Maybe this end's heavier.
Yeah, this is.
This is pretty light.
I got nothing on it. This is
Yeah,
switch.
set it down.
Here, you and we'll get the old people back here, you two, and then I'll go up front.
Okay.
Actually, I think 2 people should be down, like on the sides, and then maybe, like I can handle it. I already picked this up once. Yeah, there you go. Either way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely heavier than that
Okay.
side.
We gotta flip it around though.
Okay.
Come in closer, Raven. Way closer. For all the action. Okay, it's starting to hurt me. Let me know if I'm about to hit my head.
You're good.
You're good. All right, you're good on your head.
Fourth quarter. Hurting my hand for sure.
All right. Setting it down.
Yep. Yay!
Wow.
Sweet.
Well,
Almost there.
All right, chassis done by this weekend.
no.
Racing on Monday.
Oof. All right, well, tomorrow we're gonna start cutting. All right, well, we are back the next day, and I've got to come up with a plan to do some stuff to this frame. So kind of tentatively thinking about stuff. After I weld on some braces across the frame in some different spots, I think we're going to cut out the upper torque box here, weld in my Merillat torque box, but actually before I do much of anything, I'm going to put some bolts in the control arm mounting spots on the rear as well as the front there. And then I'm going to put this thing up on some jack stands so I don't have to be working on it on the ground. And this is actually one of the most level spots in the building right here. We've measured this out with laser and stuff. And when I put it up on jack stands, it should keep the frame kind of square until I can at least build a jig for it to then build kind of the rest of the car on. But you don't have to really do all this fancy jig work. If you're doing this at home, just take a lot of measurements and make sure that the platform that you are working on is square. You can, get a, kind of like a laser leveler from any of your hardware stores. I've got one that I picked up from Lowe's years ago. I think it was like 60, 80 bucks, something like that. For like hanging pictures on the wall. All you're trying to do is make sure that your floor is level. So you set it on the floor and then measure with a tape measure down, spin that thing in a circle and measure to make sure everything's square, and then start building stuff like I'm about to do. So let's get to it. All right, well, now that we've got everything kind of supported, next move for the day is going to be to cut out the original upper control arm mount. Because in this box right here, which I'm about to show you, we have a Merillat Upper Torque box. There's some bolts down there in the bottom. So as you may can see, that's going to give us a whole lot more adjustment in the upper control arm. I mean, a lot of them. Got a little rusty sitting in the box there, but that's okay. So I'm going to figure out what I've got to do to cut out all that mess and then locate this and weld it in. Yeah, that's the plan. I'm gonna get back to work. All right, well, after tons of cutting and grinding, we've got a spot here cleaned up that I think we might be able to test fit that thing. So you may kind of be able to tell that I'm not, like, there's still some of the old, like even this back here, this will get cut off. But I'm not too concerned about what's back here because literally I'm going to be cutting this right on that edge right there and all this will disappear. Really, these back of these frame rails are pretty much just here for the rules. And the piece, the upper torque box, that will get reinforced. You know, there's going to be a whole lot of bars here. Kind of like, well, some of the other cars here in the shop. So there's going to be a whole bunch of bars, and I will tie in probably right to the front of this bar, because you know, that's where the control arms are most pulling on it. Or maybe I go right to the upper part of the crossbar. I don't know yet. We'll see how it all works out. But to begin with, I guess let's set the camera back up on the tripod here, and we'll test fit this thing. See if it's gonna work. Hey. I think I can actually weld that in. Actually, need to go down a little more there and then clean up these edges. And we've got something to weld in. Hey, that's kind of exciting. Actually, this is all real exciting. I'm working on my car. Woohoo! And I'm excited about it. This is good stuff. Good stuff. I'm just kind of sitting here taking it all in. Actually working on my own car. Unfortunately, I did make a really big mess. So I've got to clean that up before I get out of here today. But we will we'll do that. First, I'm going to knock this back out, grind that down a little bit more, drag the TIG welder over, sand these edges, maybe even put a little sand on that. And then we're going to start TIG welding this in. And that's really exciting. Okay, I'm going to stop staring at it and actually do something. All right, back to the time lapse, because otherwise this video would be 12 hours long. Well, would you just look at it? It is welded. And I kind of went overboard. I welded up every little notch, all that stuff, welded them all in there, and I kind of burned it in hot. Like, it's not super pretty, but it'll look fine with some paint on it. I did not weld this little spot right here because once I cut the frame out, I'm gonna knock that back. It had a little bit more of a gap than I wanted to right there. So we made some progress today on the Cutlass. It's exciting stuff. I already started doing some measuring on where the #1 bar ends up, because that will be the next one that goes in. And it's gonna end up somewhere about in here. Go across. #1 bar is kind of where the entire roll cage gets built off of in the chassis spec, like to meet all of the rules, which we'll show you some of the rule book or the spec book in one of the next videos. But that's going to wrap up this video, and I'm excited that I actually got some stuff done on the Cutlass frame. And this is like by far the most hours that I've ever put in on the car in recent years. I mean, I put a whole Saturday on it. It's 4 o'clock now. Was here about 10. So got some good time in on the Cutlass, and we're gonna try and continue with some more videos. I'm not gonna put a promise on how many and how often, because I got myself in trouble doing that before. So I want to be a little bit more realistic, but hopefully you guys like this video and share it and comment and like it, and I already said like. Anyways, you know, the more views it gets, the easier I can justify putting more work into it, because you guys are following along. It's kind of the whole business side of my brain, all that fun stuff. So anyways, like I said, that's gonna wrap up this video. The next Cutlass video will be even more bars going into this thing and even more work being done to the chassis, the stock chassis, before we cut out even more of it. Anyways, thanks again for watching. See you guys next time.